We can't get to net zero. We don't get this job done unless agriculture is front and center as part of the solution, and now are continuing it to show how we can innovate, how serious a component of this agriculture is, how critical it is that we get this right, because lives depend on it.
Marc, lives depend on it. Why do you want to kill people? Lives are at stake.
Okay, we've been doing agriculture for thousands of years. The biggest advance in agriculture, you could argue, is crop rotation, but probably the biggest is high yield fertilizer, high yield agriculture that came with the Green Revolution, Norman Borlaug, everything that's brought us the pesticides and all that. Yeah, you could argue you don't like that, you want organic. Regardless, it has increased the yield. It feeds easily our global population right now. Now, there's issues with distribution. But what John Kerry is now doing is evil and sinister. Now, I sound like he's a Bond villain. In many ways, he is. We're following the route of what they're attempting to do in Europe, most notably the Netherlands, where they're going after nitrogen fertilizer because nitrogen turns into nitrous oxide. It's a dangerous warming gas. And agriculture, because methane is a more potent greenhouse gas, which is called the irrelevant gas by in peer-reviewed studies, but that doesn't matter. They got us afraid of cows. They got us afraid of high-yield agriculture. And if you listen to what John Kerry's saying carefully, is they have to appoint people like him in charge, the net zero administrators, if you will, from the United Nations, from the EU, and they're going to be taking over agriculture to make sure the planet doesn't suffer. This is happening in Australia, where they're saying it's decimating farming. It's happening in Canada. And of course, John Kerry's now new job as the U.S. climate envoy, he's now making sure it happens here in the United States. So it's arrived. And guess what? Bill Gates is America's single largest farmland owner. You think he's going to oppose it? Bill Gates has publicly stated that the entire Western world should only be eating synthetic meat. And that's the lab-grown, it's either lab-grown meat or it's the vegetable oil processed meat, like Impossible Burger. The fix is in. They're laying it out there. This isn't a conspiracy, so to speak. This is all out in the open. It's a conspiracy reality, if you want, but they're being open and honest about it. It's the administrative state taking over, nationalizing our food. They're nationalizing our energy. They're nationalizing our transportation by banning gas-powered cars. It's very clear, and we're sitting here like idiots watching it happen. Now, maybe you're not an idiot, but I feel like one. I'm screaming. I'm like Kevin McCarthy in Invasion of the Body Snatchers. They're coming, they're coming. You know, when all the people would be, coming out of their pods and trying to warn everyone, and no one's listening.